So in our previous lesson, we created our Django app. We looked at how the Django app setup looks like. Now we are going to integrate our app and make sure that it is working successfully. Now to do that, let's open our project in our VS Code. So we go to Start button to open the Start menu, then we scroll down to the Windows System folder. We open it and then see the command prompt right here. Great. So you also see that it is not pointed to the project folder, so we now have to change it into the project folder. So we'll go to CD desktop because our project folder is on the desktop, so we change directly to the desktop, and then we'll CD our project name, which was my store. So CD my store here. The system cannot find. So alright, so the project name was rather online store. Sorry, CD online store. Okay, then we will now move on to the project folder, which is actually my store or Jumia. Let me check for the project name right here. To the desktop, I have online store. We'll open that, and then my store is inside, so I'll CD into my store. So CD my store. So now I'm inside my store, so I can just open it in VS Code, like code dot, then it will open up for me. So let me see. Okay, I have that is exactly the project file I'm looking at. Alright, so so it is advisable. So we are now working on our project, and so I told you that the setup and everything, we're going to use the command prompt to create it, and then later on we'll start using the integrated terminal in VS Code. So now we're going to set up our project. Now another thing is that we need to make sure our project is working, so we are going to run the server to open our project. So I'll go to, and this time we are going to do it in the integrated terminal on VS Code. So I'll go to terminal, then click on new terminal. Alright, so we can also do the same thing on the command prompt, but as I said, we have done the setup, and then I'm going to do the rest on the integrated terminal. So I'll write Python manage.py, then run server. So this is going to, remember we have the WSGI working, so WSGI is going to serve as our server when you are running the website locally. Alright, so it runs successfully for us. So this one is easy for us to open. So we just put the mouse on it, and then it will tell us to follow a link. So we click on follow link here, and then it will open the address of our website in our browser, that is the Google Chrome for us. Now you see that there is the group of words which is written in the red color, which says you have 18 unapplied migrations. Your project may not work properly. Now for now we're going to ignore this because this has to do with the database. We actually don't have any database right now, so we are going to see this code there. So but nevertheless our website is going to run, so we can ignore it, and then we now see that the installation worked successfully. Okay, and then debug is set to true. So this is what happens if we change debug to false. We are not going to see this page. Alright, so let me show you. Go to settings, and then change debug to false, and you me change debug to false. Let's wait for our server to reload. You must set. Okay, so it says allowed host if debug is false. So this happens when we add a domain name here, then you'll be able to change it to false. So because right now we are using the local server, okay, so the local server must we must set out debug to false. That is, if we have a domain name, that is when we have deployed it online, that is when we are going to set it to false. But for now, we should set it to true, and then the server will be able to work successfully. Let's run the server again. Okay, so our installation works successfully. Alright, so let's go and set up our project. So this is the project we have, and then this is the app we specified. Now the first thing you're going to do is to import the operating system, that is the OS we are using. So we say import OS right here. Good. And then we will go to install apps here. So we have an app like admin, we have the authentication, content types, as I explained earlier. So we're going to add our app, which is main, to the list of installed apps. So we're done with this. Okay, so we come to template, and then with template, we are going to write HTML files as well. So we're going to put our template folder. So to do that, we're going to add the OS, the operating system, that is the OS, to add our template folder. So we do os.path.join, then from the base directory we'll call the folder name template. Good. But we actually don't have any folder with the name template, so we are going to create that folder. So we'll say, let's go to let's go to our command prompt and make a folder with the name template. So we say mkdir templates. Okay, so it is now here with us. So our template folder is available for us. Let's move further down. Okay, I think everything looks great. So now we need to add our app to the project. For now, our project doesn't know the app, so we need to now register our app on the project. So we go to my store here, then go to the urls.py, and you can see that the only app that is available is the admin app, but it doesn't know our main app. So we are going to add our main app here. So hit enter, then type path equals empty route, which means on the home page. Okay, and then we will do include. So we should include the main.urls. So we are using include, but it doesn't it is not recognized here. So you can read the small comment that is written here, and you will know that we need to have include here. So before we can use include, we now have to import it. So just add from Django.urls import path, and then import include as well. So include is now working, so it is importing the main.urls file. But when we go to the main folder, we don't have anything like URLs, so we have to create it. So you just click on file, then say urls.py, hit enter, and then our urls.py file is now created for us. So we need to now set out the routing. Okay, so we will do from Django.urls import path URLs. Okay, URLs import path, and then we will import the views as well, because we are going to write functions inside the views, and then we are going to allow the URLs to access them. So there's the need that we should import the views as well. So the views and the URLs are in the same folder. So we just do from the current folder, which is dot. So we use the dot to specify the current folder. From the dot, import views. Alright, so we're going to now set the URL patterns. So we just do URL patterns like this, then say path equals empty route, which is the current route or the current path we want to go to, and then we will now call views dot index, and then we give it a name as index. Now this means that we have to get this file or this function from the views file. So let's go and check if the file the function index exists in the views file. So we go there, you can see that it does not exist. So we have to now write our first function, which is the index. So just do diff index, and then it takes a request right here, and then it will return and render also a request, and then the name of the HTML file, which is index.html. Alright, so let's stop our server with Ctrl+C, and then rerun it again. So we stop the server with Ctrl+C. Alright, so let's go and refresh. When we refresh, we should see template does not exist. So the template index.html does not exist. So what we do is that we go to the template folder and then put in our index.html file there. So we say index.html right here. So now let's go and refresh, and we have an empty space because our HTML does not have any code inside of it. So I'm going to write a code inside of the HTML file in C. So I'm just going to write a simple h1 with a text hello world. So let me go refresh, and then you see that I have hello world right here. So this is the code that exists in our application. So we can also do a p tag and write this is the beginning of our app. Let me go and see if, okay, so we see that. So this is how we set up our app together with the project. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll move on to create a successful project.